5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger. The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
How long do we have?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, all the other terrible things throughout history?
We were instructed not to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
We need to find the others.
I haven't seen some of them for centuries.
Hi.
Hello.
This is what the end of the world looks like. At least we have front row seats.
You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
We have loved these people since the day we arrived. When you love something, you protect it.
You can't protect. Any of them.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. I mean, what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
Welcome back, everyone. Big surprise, Marvel dropped a new Eternals trailer at midnight last night. It's been a while since anyone's done that, so we'll break it down. This is going to be my quick reaction video. I will make some bigger, longer videos soon about some of the bigger Easter eggs here and what's going on with the Celestials, the Deviants, and the Eternals characters. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. The big thing here is they want to give you the actual story, and I think I talked a little bit about this in my last trailer video, but they actually show you the Celestials. That's probably one of the biggest things here, is revealing what they're going to look like in the film. And they make a really big deal about explaining why they didn't help out with Avengers Endgame. Probably the biggest question that people had since the movie was announced. If they're so powerful, why didn't they help? And they use Kit Harington's Black Knight character to do that. They justify it by saying they weren't supposed to interfere in the affairs of man. The funny thing that they don't address during this, though, is that Thanos is an Eternal from Titan, and he does carry the deviant gene. So technically, a deviant or someone with the deviant gene was attacking humanity in the rest of the universe. There'll be so many comments about that when the movie comes out, and I'm sure they'll have some moment in the movie that will address that even more, because they do talk about the snaps in the blip. But they give you the ticking clock here, 7 days till the end of the Earth in the emergence. What they're talking about is the emergence of the next Celestial. There's a Celestial growing inside planet Earth, and Celestials are massive, massive beings. So if you've ever watched a chicken hatch out of an egg, it's going to be kind of like that in 7 days. Kaboom, goodbye Earth, next big disaster right after Avengers Endgame. Just one disaster right after the other. Tony Stark is rolling in his grave right now. What Salma Hayek's Ajak character is talking about, though, is the blip. She's talking about the Hulk snap bringing everyone back, releasing enough cosmic energy to accelerate the growth of this Celestial inside Earth. They give you the flashback PowerPoint presentation. This is a Celestial being born, but obviously this is all out of sync in the timeline. Like the meteorite that seems like it's crashing to Earth sounds like it was the original Celestial egg seeding itself in the planet. The people that would have done that would have been the Celestial host. So this giant red Celestial that Cersei says is the one that told them not to interfere in the affairs of man. Nope, don't help out during any of the wars. Don't save the Earth from Thanos. That's Arishem the Judge. He's the leader of the Celestial host. The green one later that you see wielding its cosmic energy, seeming like it's creating something, is Jemiah the Analyzer. I talked about this during my What If video last night, the What If Episode 2 video. A lot of people think that he is actually Nowhere. So Nowhere is the head of a dead Celestial, so we'll see if they pay that Easter egg off during the movie. That would be really cool. The way Cersei is explaining it to Dane Whitman's character, Kit Harington's Black Knight character, is that they were supposed to come to Earth 7,000 years ago to protect the humans from the deviants. That, I think, is a bit of a lie of omission, because really they're there to guard the growing celestial egg. That's this giant structure that you see Cersei touching as it lights up with energy. Connecting this to Black Panther and Vibranium because they make that Vibranium joke at the end of the trailer. In the comics in the past, characters have speculated that the Vibranium mound was actually intended for the creation of a new celestial body. You have to imagine one of these giant celestials just sort of reaching over into Wakanda saying, you know what, I'm just going to take that, yoink, and just rip it right out of the ground. When they're sitting around in the circle here, all wearing the same clothing, I believe this is them reincarnating. This is celestial energy coming into their bodies. The red statue is meant to be a representation of Arishem the Judge. Eternals characters can be killed just like anybody else, but they are super strong. Like, they all have bodies that live for very long periods of time unless someone kills them. But the reason why they're eternal really is because they reincarnate into new bodies. As she narrates, you see them attacking some of the deviants. This seems like it's when they first come to planet Earth, like they're all standing in formation like the Power Rangers. We are here amongst you to protect you, even though we have a totally secret mission we're not going to tell you about. The other deviant that you see later in the trailer talking sounds like it's going to be Crow, who in the comics I believe has a secret relationship with Thena. I believe the idea with the deviants in the movie, though, is that the Celestials created them to protect the life that they were seeding around the universe, and then eventually they just went off the rails and went rogue. So then the backup was for the Celestials to create the Eternals to take care of their big mistake with the deviants. Hopefully they'll also reference the cosmic hierarchy of the MCU, or the Marvel Cinematic Multiverse, because we have Loki, the Multiverse War, He Who Remains now, but the way it sounds like this plays out in the timeline of the MCU after Avengers Endgame, it sounds like all this stuff happens this 7-day period before the end of the Loki finale. Even though when you start talking about time travel, the multiverse, it gets a little crazy, I think they just want to keep this movie as simple as possible because they're introducing so many new characters. So He Who Remains would know about what's going on here, but for the sake of simplicity, I would just treat the Loki finale with the true version of the multiverse. The Kang variants sort of manifesting is happening after the events of the Eternals movie. You see, all of them use their powers just a little bit. They all have slightly different powers, like Phastos, for instance, is the inspiration for the Greek god Hephaestus. He makes things. That's why Richard Madden's Icarus character is like, oh, this is a perfect shelter you've built here. I bet this is built out of vibranium, as he smashes his table. Nope, that one's IKEA. All of them wield the same celestial energy that the Celestials themselves wield, which is why all their powers are color-coded the same, even though they manifest in slightly different ways. Like Angelina Jolie's character uses celestial energy to fashion weapons. So really the stakes of the movie are that they have to find a way to either stop this celestial egg from hatching, or to find a way to hatch it and not destroy the Earth in the process. And also stop the celestial host from coming back to planet Earth and wiping it out. When the Collector was explaining the history of the universe, the Infinity Stones, and you see Isan the Searcher using the Power Stone to wipe out a planet, I'm also wondering if they're going to connect that to what's happening in this movie. The Celestials are kind of like cosmic gardeners. They go around seeding life on planets, and when an experiment doesn't work out, they'll just wipe it out and start over again. But also, the way they explain it in this movie, the Celestial that's growing inside Earth needs cosmic energy, so I'm also wondering if they'll try to connect it to that Guardians of the Galaxy Isan the Searcher moment with him using the Power Stone on that planet, seeming like he's wiping it out, but maybe really he was just trying to unleash cosmic energy to grow another Celestial and hatch it in that planet. I did a big video about Kit Harington's Black Knight character and where he sort of fits into the MCU, what his history is, so I'll link that below in the description. But I think the big thing in this movie is that he's sort of the point of view character, learning about the Eternals for the first time, and he's sort of an audience surrogate. Like, who are you? What are you doing here? Why haven't you helped us in the past? Why didn't you stop Thanos? Even though he's kind of your cousin? Because this giant red Celestial told us he would squish us like bugs if we did anything. I believe the idea is that Dane Whitman's character won't actually become full-blown Black Knight till the sequels or other Marvel movies because he is supposed to cross over into Avengers 5 with Cersei's character. But I think the idea is that they'll tease his origin towards the end of this movie. Like, he'll learn about the Ebony Blade, the curse of his family, but I'm not expecting him to fully wear the armor until whatever the future sequels wind up being. But in the way they reference the Avengers in the last trailer, they're referencing the Black Panther characters, Vibranium in this trailer. They're sort of connecting it to the other Marvel movies. You sort of find out where they've been this whole time and how they were watching all the events of the MCU movies unfold. I know there's going to be a lot of timeline questions too. You also have to remember that the events of WandaVision take place many weeks after the end of Avengers Endgame, so I'm also assuming that WandaVision, the Hex, and Scarlet Witch becoming full-blown Scarlet Witch doesn't happen till after the events of the Eternals movie. But I think it's pretty easy to make the assumption that they do save the planet, because none of the other Marvel characters in those projects were addressing a giant celestial just shooting straight up out of the planet. So what'll happen is I'll post my full breakdown video later today. If you have any big questions about the movie, what's going on with the characters, just write them below in the comments and I'll include it in that full breakdown video. I'll update the link here at the end with the full breakdown video when I finish posting that later today, and click here for my What If Episode 2 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you in that next video.